Chosen one. Stop scrolling. This is no coincidence. Heaven has your name on a life-changing wealth transfer, and it's happening right now. Are you ready to claim it? Or will you let fear steal your destiny? Welcome to a moment that's anything but ordinary. You didn't stumble across this video by accident. This is a divine intersection, a sacred pause in the chaos of your day, where heaven itself is whispering your name. You're not here by chance. You're here by calling. This wealth transfer, it's not just a catchy phrase or some distant dream. It's real. It's tangible. It's been approved by the throne of heaven, designed to flood your life, not just with money, but with abundance, financial freedom, emotional clarity, spiritual strength, a legacy that will echo beyond your lifetime. So buckle up, chosen one. This is your divine wake-up call. Let's start with this. What makes you chosen? It doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you've got it all figured out. It means your life carries a purpose woven into the very fabric of the universe, a purpose that existed long before your first breath. Picture this, a cosmic blueprint, a scroll in heaven with your name etched in gold, outlining blessings, breakthroughs meant just for you. This isn't new. It's ancient. Think of Joseph sold into slavery, locked in prison, yet destined for the palace. His life looked like a series of dead ends, but every step was leading to a divine moment, where he became Egypt's second in command. That's the kind of divine setup we're talking about. Your struggles, your delays, your unseen battles. They're not random. They're chapters in a story that's about to take a breathtaking turn. Wait, before you dismiss this as just another motivational talk, ask yourself, why did this video find you today? Why does your heart feel that tug, that spark of hope? That's not coincidence. That's a signal from heaven. Here's the truth. The wealth transfer is already in motion. It's not waiting for a perfect version of you or some far-off future date. It's happening now, because you've been prepared for this. But what is this wealth transfer really? It's more than a number in your bank account. Though yes, that can happen too. It's an overflow. Resources, opportunities, relationships, influence, pouring into every corner of your life. Imagine doors swinging open without you chasing them. People showing up who truly see your value, and a peace. A deep, unshakable peace that anchors you through any storm. This is about upgrading your entire existence, aligning it with the divine purpose you were born to fulfill. What if the struggles you've faced were secretly preparing you for a throne you can't yet see? What if every tear, every closed door, was a brushstroke in a masterpiece heaven's been painting? Now, let's talk about why this moment feels so urgent. We live in a world of endless distractions, social media news cycles, comparison traps. Every day, over 10,000 ads fight for your attention, telling you what to want, who to be, but heaven's voice. It cuts through that noise. It's the still small whisper saying, "You're more than this. You're chosen for greatness." Most people, they're too busy chasing society's version of success to hear it. But you're different. You're here listening, feeling that stir in your spirit. That's not small. That's alignment. Let's ground this in truth. Divine timing isn't just spiritual talk. It's a principle that's shaped history. Think of Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, yet emerged to lead a nation. His hidden years weren't wasted. They were forging a leader. Your life follows a similar rhythm. Those moments when you felt stuck, overlooked, broken, they were forging you, teaching resilience, sharpening intuition, aligning your heart with a purpose bigger than yourself. This wealth transfer, it's not just about what you receive, it's about who you become. Hold up. Take a deep breath. Feel that. That's the energy of possibility. That's heaven saying, "This is your moment, chosen one." So how do you step into this? It starts by knowing You're not waiting for permission. You're not waiting for perfection. The approval already signed in heaven. Your job is to believe it before you see it. That's faith, and we'll dive deeper into that soon. For now, remember this. You're not an accident. Your dreams, your gifts, even your quirks, they're all part of a divine design. This wealth transfer, it's your inheritance. You don't have to earn it. You just have to embrace it. What would change if you truly believed you were chosen? Not tomorrow, but right now. How would you walk? How would you talk? How boldly would you dream? As we move forward, we'll unpack the hidden seasons, the spiritual economy, and how to guard this blessing. But let this sink in. You're not just watching a video. You're stepping into a divine moment generations in the making. Your ancestors' prayers, your past sacrifices, your quiet faithfulness. They've all led to this. So drop 77 in the comments to declare your alignment. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay locked into this journey. Chosen one, Heaven's calling. Will you answer? Section 2. The hidden season. Your wilderness was a masterclass. Chosen one. Let's talk about those moments when you felt invisible, when the world just passed you by. What if I told you your wilderness wasn't a punishment? It was a masterclass sculpting you for a destiny only heaven could design. Now that you've embraced the truth of your divine calling, let's step into the season that shaped you, the hidden years. You know the ones. Those long stretches where it felt like you were shouting into the void, when your efforts unnoticed, when your dreams stuck in quicksand. Maybe it was that job that never saw your potential, or that relationship that drained your spirit, or those quiet seasons of solitude where you started questioning your very worth. Yeah, those moments hurt, didn't they? But here's the revelation. Your wilderness wasn't a curse. It was a sacred apprenticeship, a divine classroom where heaven was forging the chosen one you're becoming. Every tear, every closed door, every silent night was a lesson in resilience, in faith, in purpose. Think of your hidden season like a seed buried in dark soil. To the world, it looked like nothing was happening, maybe even like failure. But beneath the surface, roots were stretching, strength was building, and life was preparing to break through. That's you, chosen one. Your time in the shadows wasn't about being forgotten. It was about being refined. Remember Moses, 40 years in the desert. Before leading a nation to freedom, those years weren't wasted. They were where he learned humility, patience, and trust in a higher plan. Your story, no different. Those seasons when you felt invisible were heaven's way of protecting you, grounding you, preparing you for a purpose too big for an unready heart. Let me ask you, why did this video find you today? Could it be that heaven is reminding you those lonely nights were never in vain? Think back to one moment when you felt completely overlooked. What if that moment was divine protection, shielding you from paths that were never meant to be yours? Let's reframe this. Your hidden season. It wasn't about absence, it was about preparation. When you cried alone, you weren't weak. You were watering the roots of your strengths. When doors slammed shut, they weren't rejecting you. They were redirecting you. When the crowd disappeared, it wasn't abandonment. It was heaven creating space for you to hear his voice above the noise. Even science backs this up. Studies show solitude rewires the brain, boosting focus, emotional resilience, and self-awareness. Psychologists call it incubation, a phase where challenges become creative solutions. But spiritually, it's deeper. It's where you learned to trust God's timing over society's applause, to value purpose over popularity, to stand firm, even when no one was watching. Look at Jesus, 40 days in the desert before his ministry began. That wasn't a detour, it was a crucible, strengthening his resolve, aligning him with his mission. Your hidden season did the same. It taught you compassion through heartbreak, courage through rejection, and wisdom through waiting. If the spotlight had come too soon, it could have burned you. If success arrived before your character was ready, it might have crushed you. Heaven loved you too much to let the world see an unfinished version of you. So you were tucked away, not to stay small, but to grow deep. What if your loneliness was God's way of shielding you from distractions that could have derailed your destiny? What if every no was heaven whispering, "Not yet, you're meant for more"? Here's a fresh perspective. Your wilderness was a masterclass in divine discipline. It's where you learned to carry your calling without needing applause. Think about it. How many times did you keep going when no one noticed? That's not ordinary strength. That's anointed endurance. Neuroscience tells us overcoming adversity builds pathways for grit. Spiritually, it taught you to walk by faith, not by sight. Those nights you prayed through tears, they were workouts for your soul, building spiritual muscles that now carry the weight of your destiny. You're not who you were back then. You've been refined by fire, purified by pressure, strengthened by stillness. Let's make it practical. Your hidden season wasn't just about surviving. It was about discovering who you really are. In the silence, you found your voice. In the struggle, you uncovered your gifts. Not because the crowd validated you, but because heaven revealed you to yourselves. And now, as you stand on the edge of your wealth transfer, you're not stepping out empty-handed. You're carrying wisdom, resilience, and a faith that's been tested and proven. Take a deep breath. Feel that shift. That's the energy of transformation. The moment you realize your wilderness was never wasted. It was heaven's training ground. Why does this matter now? Because you're no longer in hiding. The lessons of the wilderness have prepared you for the overflow that's coming. You're not the same soul who once wondered if the promise would ever arrive. You've been rebuilt, not for performance, but for purpose. This isn't about chasing fame. It's about fulfilling a divine assignment. God is getting ready to place you in rooms you once only dreamed of. Not to show off your name, but to glorify His through your story. Your elevation, it will be a testimony that heaven keeps its promises. So, what if you saw every struggle as a stepping stone to your calling? How would you carry yourself if you knew your wilderness was the making of a masterpiece? Don't resent the hidden place. It was never meant to break you. It was designed to build you. Every private battle, every unseen victory, was heaven equipping you for this moment? You're not waiting to be revealed. You're rising, and you're stepping out with a grace and wisdom that only comes from being shaped in the shadows. As we move forward into the spiritual economy and the power of faith, hold this truth close. Your wilderness was your masterclass, and you chosen one, graduated with honors. Chosen one. Your time is here. Let's keep walking this journey together. Section 3. The Spiritual Economy, Wealth Beyond Wall Street. Chosen one. While the world is glued to stock tickers and breaking news alerts, heaven is executing a wealth transfer no market can touch. This isn't about Wall Street. It's about a spiritual economy. And your name? It's already on the guest list. Are you ready to tap into divine abundance? You've embraced your calling. You've seen how your hidden season shaped you. Now, let's shift gears, because what's happening next is bigger than anything you've been taught about wealth. Forget the noise about recessions, inflation, or job markets. There's a higher system at play, a divine flow of abundance that operates far beyond the chaos of this world. This is where your wealth transfer lives, chosen one. And it's flowing right now, ready to pour resources, opportunities, and influence straight into your life. But hear me, this isn't just about dollars. It's about dominion. It's about purpose. It's about a legacy that will shake generations. The spiritual economy doesn't care about the Dow Jones. It doesn't move with crypto trends. It's a kingdom system, rooted in faith, alignment, and obedience. While the world panics over headlines predicting scarcity, Heaven is orchestrating a quiet, unstoppable takeover. Wealth is being redistributed to those who've been prepared for such a time as this. Think of it as a cosmic reallocation. Resources, once hoarded by systems built on greed, are being redirected into the hands of the righteous, into the hands of those who chose purpose over shortcuts. Proverbs 13:22 reminds us, "The wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous." This isn't theory, it is prophecy, and it's unfolding right before your eyes. Look around. Financial empires once thought untouchable. They're cracking. Systems built on deception, they're starting to fall. The old ways of hoarding power, they're crumbling piece by piece. And while that happens, heaven is raising up a new kind of leader. Humble, kingdom-minded, servant-hearted warriors, refined in the shadows. That's you, chosen one. This shift isn't random, it's strategic. God's not just moving money, He's moving land, ideas, platforms, and influence into the hands of those aligned with His purpose. The stock market doesn't control your wealth. Your alignment does. So let me ask you, are you chasing money? Or are you chasing the mission that makes money chase you? Let's break it down. The spiritual economy operates on something I call energetic currency. Your faith, your intention, your alignment. They create a magnetic pull, drawing resources to you. And no, this isn't just wishful thinking. Quantum physics suggests that focused intention can shape reality itself. Now translate that to the spiritual realm. When your heart is locked into heaven's will, you become a beacon for divine provision. Doors open that no earthly key could unlock. Opportunities find you without you forcing them. Because the spiritual economy, it doesn't respond to hustle or ego. It flows through surrender, through purpose. Look at Oprah Winfrey. Before the world knew her name, she faced rejection, hardship, but her alignment, her commitment to authenticity and impact drew opportunities that defied every odd. That's how the spiritual economy works. When you prioritize mission over money, provision shows up like a shadow. For you, chosen one, it could be a sudden job offer, a debt canceled overnight, or a connection that sparks a life-changing idea. These aren't coincidences. They're divine adjustments. The spiritual economy tilting in your favor. What would happen if you stopped worrying about the world's economy and started trusting heaven's? How would your choices shift if you knew abundance was already yours? Here's the practical truth. The spiritual economy rewards alignment, not ambition. Alignment means your heart, your actions, and your mindset are in sync with your divine purpose. It's not about being perfect, it's about your posture. Stop chasing what the world calls valuable status, clout, quick cash. Chase your mission instead. Serve from a place of authenticity. Give without expecting applause. When you do, favor follows. Let me share something. Years ago, I poured myself into a project. No one noticed, no paycheck, no praise. But I felt that quiet nudge to help others. Then, out of nowhere, a mentor appeared, offering guidance that opened doors I never saw coming. That's the spiritual economy in action. When you sow in faith, heaven sends the harvest. Science even backs this up. Gratitude rewires your brain, reducing stress, increasing optimism, and attracting better opportunities. Spiritually, gratitude signals heaven that you're ready to receive. So here's a simple step. Every morning, name 3 things you're thankful for. Watch how it shifts your spirit and pulls you into alignment with abundance. That's not just positive thinking. That's activating heaven's economy. Feel that spark. That's the energy of divine provision. Whispering, you're right on time. Chosen one. Now, to those wondering, if this spiritual economy is real, why am I still struggling? It's a fair question. The answer: timing and preparation. Your hidden season was building the character to steward this wealth. God doesn't fund ego or fleeting dreams. He invests in assignments that glorify Him. Your struggles weren't a sign of absence. They were proof of preparation. And now, with your heart aligned and your faith sharpened, the gates of release are opening. This shift is bigger than you. It's about legacy. The wealth flowing to you isn't just for comfort. It's for impact. You're being positioned to break generational curses, to teach stewardship, to build platforms that uplift entire communities. Think of it as a divine trust fund for today and for generations to come. Your ideas funded by heaven. Your voice amplified. Your calling sponsored by God Himself. And no man can block what God has released. What if the wealth you seek isn't just cash, but a calling that transforms lives? What if your next breakthrough is simply waiting for you to say yes to your purpose? As we move forward, we'll explore how faith bridges you to this wealth and how to protect what's coming. But for now, let this truth settle deep. The spiritual economy is shifting, and you're on the receiving end. You're not behind. You're perfectly positioned. Chosen one, heaven's wealth is calling. Will you step into it boldly? Section 4. Faith over hustle. Stop striving. Start receiving. Chosen one. You've been grinding, pushing, praying. But here's the truth. Your wealth transfer isn't coming because you outworked everyone else. It's coming because of your faith. Stop striving and start receiving. Your breakthrough, it already has your name on it. You've embraced your divine calling. You've seen your wilderness as a masterclass, and you've tapped into the flow of the spiritual economy. Now, let's talk about the bridge that connects you to this wealth transfer. It's called faith. Not passive faith, waiting and wishing, but bold, active, mountain-moving faith. This isn't about hustling harder. It's not about losing sleep or chasing validation. It's about trusting that heaven's already done the heavy lifting. And now it's your turn to step into what's yours with quiet confidence. The spiritual economy responds to faith, not frenzy. And today, chosen one, you're learning how to receive what's already been approved for you. Let's clear something up. Yes, effort matters, but it's not the source of your blessing. You've already paid the price. Walking away from toxic places, planting seeds when you had almost nothing left, staying faithful when no one saw your worth. Heaven saw every step. But hear me, this wealth transfer isn't a paycheck for your sweat. It's a gift for your surrender. Think about Noah, building the ark before a single raindrop fell. His effort, it was real, but it was his faith, trusting God's promise with no evidence that unlocked the miracle. Your hustle, it prepared the ground, but faith is the bridge that brings the harvest home. Let me ask you, what's one thing you're gripping too tightly that faith could unlock? What would shift if you truly believed the blessing was already yours? Here's where it gets real. Faith isn't just something you hold in your heart. It's how you walk. It's how you speak. It's how you think. It's stepping into a room like the opportunity is already yours. It's preparing the table before the invitation arrives. Too many people think they need to do more, work longer, chase louder, prove harder. But that's striving. And striving, it drains you. Faith empowers you. It's the difference between begging for scraps and sitting at a table prepared in your name. You're not an employee of the universe. You're an heir to its promises. Let me share a story, fictional but real enough to feel. A few years ago, I was stuck in hustle mode, chasing every opportunity, burning out, and still coming up short. Then one day, I felt a nudge. Pause, pray, trust. I started small, thanking God for blessings I couldn't yet see. I acted like my breakthrough was already certain, and out of nowhere, a connection appeared with an idea that changed everything. It wasn't my grind that opened that door. It was my faith. That's the shift you're making now, chosen one, from chasing to receiving. Close your eyes for just 3 seconds. Imagine your blessing is already here. Feel that. That's faith, activating your future. Even science agrees. Neuroscience shows that belief shapes your brain. When you visualize success, when you practice gratitude, your brain releases dopamine. It boosts clarity, motivation, and attracts better outcomes. Spiritually, that's faith in action, trusting God's plan before the evidence shows up. Doubt delays, but faith delivers. So how do you build this kind of faith? Start with 3 simple steps. 1. Gratitude. Every day, write down one thing you're thankful for. It tells heaven, I'm ready for more. 2. Visualization. See your wealth transfer. Feel the peace. Imagine the impact. 3. Aligned action. Take steps that match your calling. Not hustle, but purposeful moves. Update that resume. Pitch that idea. Say no to distractions. These aren't hustle moves. They're faith moves, positioning you for overflow. Look at Abraham, called to a land he'd never seen. No map, no guarantee, just a promise. His faith unlocked a legacy that still shapes the world. Your faith does the same. It's not about being the fastest or the loudest. It's about being the most faithful. When you stop striving and start aligning, what's stuck begins to flow. Debts clear, opportunities knock. That's not luck. That's heaven responding to your trust. What would your life look like if you walked like the chosen one you are? How would you act if you knew no one could block your blessing? Here's a new insight. Faith is a frequency. Like radio waves carry signals, your faith carries a vibration that attracts divine provision. Quantum physics even hints at this. Belief influences energy. Spiritually, your faith creates a pull, drawing what's yours into your life. But fear, doubt, desperation, they jam the signal. That's why alignment matters. Speak like a receiver. I'm ready for my harvest. Act like a receiver. Prepare before it arrives. Think like a receiver. Expect favor, not failure. This isn't arrogance. It's agreement with heaven's decree. Now a word for the weary heart. If you're thinking I've had faith but I'm still waiting, hear this. Your faith has not been wasted. Every prayer, every moment of trust was building your foundation. The spiritual economy doesn't run on human clocks. It runs on divine timing. Your delay is not denial. It's preparation. God isn't teasing you, He's positioning you to steward this wealth with wisdom. So don't shrink back. Keep speaking life. Keep expecting. Your posture of faith is the invitation for manifestation. Feel that fire in your chest. That's heaven saying, you're closer than you think, chosen one. As we move into the multi-dimensional riches of this transfer, hold this truth. Faith, not hustle, is your bridge. You're not earning what's already approved. You're receiving it. Chosen one, your wealth transfer is here. Step into it with bold, unapologetic trust. Chosen one. This wealth transfer, it's not just about a bigger bank account. It's about a bigger life. Heaven is pouring out riches that touch your mind, your heart, your health, and your legacy. Are you ready to embrace abundance that transforms every part of you? You've embraced your calling. You've seen your wilderness as a masterclass. You've tapped into the spiritual economy and crossed the bridge of faith. Now it's time to see the full scope of what heaven has prepared. Too often, people think wealth is just money, a surprise check, a sudden windfall. But chosen one, the divine wealth transfer is so much more. It's multidimensional. It floods every area of your life. Your relationships, your health, your creativity, your purpose, your legacy. This isn't a one-time deposit. It's a divine upgrade, rewiring how you live, how you love, and how you leave your mark on this world. Get ready, chosen one. for riches that don't just change your circumstances, they transform who you are. Let's paint the picture. This wealth transfer, it's not confined to your wallet. It's divine connections, people walking into your life who see your vision and lift you higher. It's clarity in your mind, replacing confusion with purpose-driven decisions. It's peace in your heart, a calm that holds steady even when storms rage. It's creativity, sparking ideas that open doors no man can shut. It's health restoring your energy, so you can pursue your calling without exhaustion. And most importantly, it's legacy impact that outlives you, touching generations you'll never meet. Don't put God's abundance in a box. This transfer is holistic. It touches every layer of your existence, aligning you with the destiny written in heaven's scroll. What if the wealth you're seeking isn't just cash, but a calling that changes lives? What would shift if you saw every area of your life as a canvas for divine abundance? Here's a fresh perspective. Modern culture, it obsesses over money, but it undervalues the riches that truly matter. A Harvard study in 2023 found this: strong relationships and a sense of purpose boost longevity and happiness more than financial wealth ever could. Spiritually, that's heaven's economy in action. God isn't just funding your bank account, He's funding your mission. Think of King Solomon. His wealth wasn't just in gold, it was in wisdom that shaped a nation. Your transfer is the same. It's not about status, it's about strategy, equipping you to lead, to love, and to leave something eternal. Let's make it real. Picture a single mom struggling to make ends meet, praying for a break. One day she meets a mentor. A simple conversation sparks a business idea. That idea leads to a community that supports her, a renewed purpose, and the health to keep going strong. Her finances grew, but the real wealth, confidence, relationships, a legacy for her children. That's multidimensional wealth, blessings that ripple across every facet of life. For you, chosen one, it might look like a restored family bond, a creative project taking flight, or sudden clarity, guiding your next step. These aren't random moments. They're divine deposits, tailored for your purpose. Your next big win, it might not be a paycheck. It could be a person, an idea, or a piece you've never known before. So, what's one area of your life you've overlooked, where heaven might be sending riches? Let's go deeper. This transfer is about legacy wealth, not just what you receive today, but what you build for tomorrow. Look at people like Melinda Gates. Her wealth isn't measured by billions, it's measured by impact. Education, health, empowerment. Your transfer, it works the same way. You're being positioned to break generational curses, to teach stewardship, to create businesses, ministries, art that uplifts others. This isn't a fleeting overflow. It's a divine installment plan, setting you up for long-term provision. Your voice is being amplified, your ideas funded, your calling sponsored by heaven. How do you receive this multidimensional wealth? Stay open to heaven's delivery methods. The blessing might not look like you expect. It could be a mentor, a sudden shift that moves you out of comfort, or an idea that refuses to leave your spirit. I've seen this happen fictional but true in spirit. A friend stuck in a dead-end job, praying for financial relief. Instead of a raise, she felt a nudge to start a simple blog. That blog led to speaking gigs, new friendships, a purpose that lit her up. The money followed, but the real wealth. Transformation, community, impact. Your transfer might arrive the same way, unpredictable, but undeniable. Always aligned with your purpose. What would happen if you trusted heaven's plan over your own expectations? How would you live if you knew every blessing was designed to bless others too? Here's where it gets practical. First, expand your definition of wealth. Value, peace, wisdom. health, as much as money. Every day, write down one non-financial blessing. Train your heart to see abundance everywhere. Second, stay alert for divine connections. That random conversation, that unexpected email. It could be heaven's courier. Third, act on inspired ideas. When a spark hits your spirit, don't hesitate. That's not hustle. That's alignment. Science supports this too. Openness to new experiences boosts creativity, strengthens resilience. Spiritually, openness is faith in action. You'll know it's divine when it challenges you, demands wisdom, and blesses others. No one will take credit, but heaven itself. So when opportunities arise, don't question them. Embrace them. When resources show up, don't shrink. Expand. When favor lands on your name, don't apologize. Walk in it boldly. Feel that warmth in your spirit. That's heaven saying, "This is yours, chosen one," every layer of it. As we move forward to protecting this blessing, hold this truth. Your wealth transfer isn't just for your pockets, it's for your purpose. You're not just receiving, you're becoming a conduit of divine abundance, transforming lives everywhere you go. Chosen one, your transformation is here. Embrace the riches that will redefine your life. Section 6. Protect your blessing. Spiritual Warfare 101. Chosen one. Your wealth transfer is here. But hear this. The moment heaven opens doors, challenges will rise to test your resolve. This isn't just about receiving. It's about protecting what's yours. Are you ready to guard your blessing with wisdom and discernment? You've embraced your divine calling. You've conquered the wilderness. You've tapped into the spiritual economy, crossed the bridge of faith, and opened your heart to multidimensional riches. Now, as heaven's favor flows, unlocking doors, bringing resources, amplifying your purpose, you face a new challenge: protecting what you've received. Because this wealth transfer, whether financial, emotional, or spiritual, is sacred. And the moment it arrives, spiritual warfare intensifies. This isn't about fear, it's about wisdom. Chosen one, you're not just a receiver, you are a guardian, entrusted to steward this blessing with vigilance and clarity. Now, spiritual warfare. It sounds intense, right? But let's demystify it. It's not always loud battles or obvious chaos. Most times it's subtle. It's the quiet distractions pulling you off course, the doubts whispering in your ear, the relationships that slowly drain your energy. The enemy, he can't stop heaven's blessing. So instead, he tries to sabotage how you manage it. He wants you to squander your resources, question your worth, lose focus on your mission. But not this time. You're wiser now, sharpened by your wilderness, equipped to guard what's yours with discernment and boundaries. Ask yourself, who or what is draining your energy? And why are you still letting them in? What would change if you saw every distraction as a test of your stewardship? Let's reframe this. Spiritual warfare is both internal and external. Internally, it's that voice of fear whispering, "You're not ready for this," or "This blessing won't last." Externally, it's old habits resurfacing, toxic connections, knocking at your door, obligations, stealing your focus. Psychology backs this up. Studies show that setting boundaries boosts self-esteem and reduces stress. Spiritually, boundaries are your shield. You're not being selfish. You're being strategic. You're honoring what heaven has entrusted to you. Think of Nehemiah, rebuilding Jerusalem's walls. Enemies mocked him. Distractions loomed. Threats arose. But he stayed focused, praying, guarding the mission. Your wealth transfer is your wall, your purpose, your peace, your provision, and you must defend it with the same resolve. This isn't paranoia, it's precision. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not every opportunity aligns with your calling. Your yes is powerful, but your no is sacred. It preserves your energy for what heaven has ordained. Quick check. Is your inner circle lifting you up or pulling you down? What's one boundary you need to set to protect your peace? Here's a fresh insight. Guarding your blessing is an act of worship. When you protect what God has given you, you're honoring His trust. This wealth, whether money, relationships, or creativity, carries an assignment. It's meant to glorify your purpose, not to impress others. So how do you guard it? Start with discernment. Pause before saying yes to anything new. Ask yourself, does this align with my mission? Does it energize me or exhaust me? Next, pray over your blessings. Speak life over your finances. Anoint your ideas. Cover your home in gratitude. Prayer isn't just words. It's a spiritual fence, keeping predators at bay. Finally, journal daily. Write down what's working, what's draining, what feels off. Clarity sharpens discernment. It helps you spot distractions before they take root. Let me make this real, fictional, but powerful. A friend received a major promotion. More money, more influence, more purpose. But soon old acquaintances resurfaced, new pressures piled up. She felt scattered, started doubting her readiness. Then, she prayed over her role, set boundaries with time wasters, and journaled to stay grounded. The chaos faded. Her focus returned. Her impact amplified. That's your path, chosen one. Guard your blessing, and it will grow beyond what you imagined. Science supports this too. A 2022 study showed mindfulness practices like journaling reduce anxiety and improve decision-making under pressure. Spiritually, this is you staying anchored in purpose, refusing to leak your blessing to distractions. Because warfare often disguises itself as busyness, as people-pleasing. That coffee date that leaves you drained, that project that doesn't sit right. They're tests. Pass them by choosing clarity over chaos, purpose over popularity. What would your life look like if you guarded your energy as fiercely as your bank account? How would your purpose thrive if you said no to what doesn't serve it? Here's a deeper truth. Spiritual warfare is really about stewardship. Heaven doesn't bless you to impress. It blesses you to impact. But impact requires discipline. You're not called to pour out recklessly. You're called to pour with precision. Think of a reservoir. It holds water for a city, but only releases what's needed. Your blessing is your reservoir. Financial, emotional, spiritual. And you must manage it wisely. You don't owe everyone access. You don't need to explain your boundaries. You just need to stand firm, trusting heaven's instructions. Let's address the doubt. Isn't guarding my blessing selfish? Not at all. It's wisdom-based, not fear-based. Even Jesus withdrew from the crowds to pray, to preserve his strength for his mission. You're doing the same, prioritizing what God has called you to steward. And if you're thinking, what if I mess up? You won't lose the blessing. Heaven's favor is sealed. But distractions, they can delay your impact. Stay vigilant, and you'll keep the flow steady. Feel that strength rising within you. That's heaven saying, you're ready to guard what's yours, chosen one. As we move forward to walking boldly in this blessing, hold this truth close. Protecting your wealth transfer is just as sacred as receiving it. You're not just holding resources. You're holding a divine assignment. Like, share, and subscribe to stay locked into this journey. Chosen one, your blessing is here. Guard it with the wisdom heaven's given you. Section 7. Walk it out. Be the proof of heaven's promise. Chosen one. The wealth transfer is yours. Doors are open. Favor is flowing, and heaven is cheering you on. Now there's only one thing left to do. Walk it out. This isn't the time to shrink. It's time to shine. as living proof that God keeps His promises. Are you ready to embody your destiny? You've embraced your calling, survived the wilderness, tapped into the spiritual economy, crossed the bridge of faith, opened your heart to multidimensional riches, and learned to guard what heaven placed in your hands. Now the stage is set. Heaven has moved mountains on your behalf. Doors once locked, swinging wide open. Resources showing up right on time. Your name being whispered in rooms you haven't even stepped into yet. This is your moment to step fully into the promise, to walk with confidence, with grace, with divine purpose. You're not just carrying a blessing. You are becoming the proof that God keeps His word. Walking it out means living your new identity without apology. You've been through the fire, delay, betrayal, loneliness, pruning, and you didn't break. You didn't let pain poison your purpose. That resilience, it rebuilt you, not for performance, but for a divine assignment. Think of Esther, stepping into the king's court to save her people. She wasn't the same timid girl from her early days. She walked with quiet authority, shaped by faith and preparation. You're the same chosen one. The wilderness refined you. Now you're stepping into spaces heaven has prepared, carrying an anointing that speaks louder than words. What would happen if you lived every day like the chosen one you are? How would you move if you knew your steps were ordained? This isn't arrogance. It's fulfillment. You're not chasing validation or worldly praise. Your elevation is your testimony, a living example of what happens when you trust God through the unknown. Picture this. 6 months from now, you're leading a project that impacts lives, surrounded by people who value your vision, living with a peace that radiates. That's not a fantasy. It's the fruit of walking in your calling. Your life will speak. The overflow of favor, the alignment of your steps, the authority in your voice. It will prove you're chosen, without you saying a word. Here's a fresh insight. Your transformation creates a ripple effect. When you walk boldly, you're not just living for yourself, you're lighting a path for others to follow. Think of leaders like Malala Yousafzai. Her courage sparked a global movement. Your story carries the same power. Every bold step, launching that business, forgiving that hurt, sharing your gift. It shows others what's possible. You're proof that obedience births overflow, that alignment unlocks access, that no one can block. What heaven has assigned. Stop for a second. Smile. That's the face of someone heaven is betting on. What's one bold move you've been hesitating to make? Let's get practical. Walking it out means living with intentionality. First, speak positively. Your words shape reality. Declare, I'm walking in my harvest. Watch your atmosphere shift. Second, act boldly. Update that proposal. Share that idea. Step into that room, like it was built for you. Third, give generously. Your time, your wisdom, your resources. Generosity amplifies favor. These aren't just actions. They're declarations of faith, showing heaven you're ready to steward this blessing. David didn't wait for Goliath to shrink. He ran toward the giant, trusting God's promise. Your giants, doubt, fear, imposter syndrome, they're no match for the authority you now carry. Here's a story fictional but real in essence. A colleague dreamed of starting a non-profit but was paralyzed by self-doubt. After months of prayer, she took small steps, shared her vision, trusted the nudge. One connection led to funding, another to a team, and soon her dream was reality. Her secret, she stopped waiting for perfection and walked like the leader she was called to be. That's you, chosen one. You're not the same soul who wondered if the promise would ever come. You're refined. You're ready to carry this wealth transfer with honor. Science agrees. Acting with confidence, even in uncertainty, rewires your brain for resilience and success. Spiritually, it's you, agreeing with heaven's verdict. You're worthy. You're appointed. You're anointed. Don't let imposter syndrome steal your seat. Walk with quiet authority, knowing no system, no delay can reverse what God has released. What if your life became a testimony others couldn't ignore? How would the world change if you showed up fully as the chosen one? Let's be honest. What if I stumble? You will. But stumbles don't cancel heaven's promise. They deepen your story. Peter denied Jesus, yet became the rock of the church. Your missteps, they teach humility and grace. What if people judge me? They might. But your calling isn't for their approval. It's for heaven's glory. Let the fruit of your life, peace, impact, alignment, silence the critics. Here's a final insight. Walking it out is about legacy. Every choice you make builds roots for generations. Your children, learning stewardship. Your community, inspired by your courage. Strangers, touched by your generosity. You're not just walking, you're paving a path. Proving God rewards the faithful. Feel that fire in your spirit. That's heaven saying, "Rise, chosen one. This is your time." As we close this journey, hold this truth. You're no longer waiting. You're walking. You're not hoping, you're holding. You're not surviving. You're overflowing. Every soul tied to your obedience, every person watching your transformation, will see that God's promises are real, because you are the proof. Like, share, and subscribe to keep this fire burning. Chosen one, your destiny is here. Walk it out with unshakable faith.